Well, guys from Yonkers Voice, today we're sitting here with Charlie Knight. Charlie Knight is the CEO and Executive Director of the YWCA located at 87 North Broadway. This is a community-based organization that provides services to our community. Thank you, Charlie.
You're welcome. Thank you, Ru, and also thank the Yonkers Voice for their extraordinary work in the community and for having this conversation with us today.
Charlie, what is your mission statement? What is the goal in a nutshell of the YWCA?
The goal, the mission statement of the YWCA is the elimination of racism and the empowerment of women.
What have we done?
Recently, in reference to the elimination of racism, recently we did a project. We viewed a film with audience from the community named I'm Not a Racist, Am I? And that was very, very interesting. We learned some very interesting things from that movie. It's actually a documentary. It was done by a group of students in New York City, and they put together students from various areas, from various socio-economic backgrounds, and they took them through a series of workshops. And one of the things they learned that they could not be racist. The definition of racism is I have to be able to affect your change. I'd be able to deny you employment or housing, and the average person cannot do that. We can all be bigots or we can discriminate, but we can't be racist.
Charlie, I am not a racist, am I? What is that makes me a racist? You know, a lot of people say, look, I'm not a racist. Look at my black friend over there. Is that a racist comment?
Coming from you, and I'm assuming...
You in general.
Okay, so I'm assuming, based on the definition of racist, we cannot be racist. We're people of color. Only according to the film, white people can be racist.
Because they are in position of oppressing another race.
Right.
Correct?
Right.
So if I was black, well, not if I was, I am black, but in position of discriminating and enforcing my discrimination against a white, denying employment, being bigot against them, denying justice, because I am in position of doing those things, that is racism, correct?
Well, you would have to be a member of a superior group, and blacks are not a superior group.
I'm just saying if we were, then we would
right.
be.
Right, absolutely. If we were the superior group, yes, and we controlled organizations like the courts, like housing, things that can really affect my getting housing or my getting a job or determine what university I go to, yes, then we would be racist.
Understood. And I'm asking you this question because there is a reason.
Okay.
A lot of people, my audience, always say, well, you see, but you are a racist too because... And I said, no, I cannot. You know, I might make a comment, but me saying that does not make you not having an employment or housing or this. So I'm not in no position that oppress or doing anything against your race, but whites have been. So that's why we call them racist. Some, of course, there is white people that are not racist at all. Okay, we just talk about those who are. Now, what about other stuff that you have done here for the woman, empowerment of women? What does that mean?
Empowerment of women. So our goal with our residents is to help them become self-sufficient. I often say to our clients, you don't end up at the YWCA because your lifelong goal was to live at the YWCA. You end up here because something's gone wrong. Something's gone terribly wrong in your life, whatever it is. And so we help people put it back together. We've had people who've lost their homes. We had people who were married with a home, the little picket fence, and spouse passed away, and she just couldn't handle it, and she ended up here. So our goal is to help her put it back together.
So those curves that life sometimes throws you at you.
Right, right.
And let's make it clear to our audience that those curveballs can come in any direction at any time.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. We've had women come who had cancer and they separated from their family. They just wanted to be alone. Of course, we have some people who with mental illness, or we help them put it together. People who are poor, when they come in, we do an assessment with them, help them to determine what their barriers are and put a plan in place to help them to start to work to eliminate those barriers. Whatever it is it training you need? Do you need a GED? Some type of hard skill. We also do work readiness where we help them learn soft skills. We help them gain employment with the number one goal being more permanent housing.
We go in live. This is a live program.
Okay.
And our audience, they are asking questions. And we have a question that just came in from Omi Medina. Omi is asking, we would like to know if there is any upcoming youth programs, meaning things for children. Is there anything coming up that is on wings waiting to come up in Dubai?
Well, we have a summer camp that we're gearing up for right now. We also have a Perl Program, which is our teenagers, girls, females, 13 to 18. And they meet 3 days a week. Our goals with our Perl Program is to introduce them to everything, to make them aware of all their options. Our girls recently, on winter break, they did a tour of Harvard, and it was very interesting. They came back with lots of information. They learned that because of endowments, they can go to Harvard, for free. They need to have the average, the GPA, but they found out they could go. Our goal was just to expose them, to say, hey, you can do anything you want to do, with preparation and work, you can go anywhere.
This is the number one country in the world, and kids can go anywhere.
Absolutely.
Okay? All that I think they need is discipline at home, good morals, principles, somebody to teach them what determination is, and somebody to teach them that rewards come with hard work. Things don't come easy.
Absolutely.
Okay? But the YWCA is offering those programs for those kids. But the important thing is, even if the YWCA offer those programs, the parents need to take that first step and walk here with those kids to ask questions about what does the YWCA have to offer. How can my kid take advantage of a program? Right. So you do have those programs.
Yes, absolutely.
Charlie, crime in Yonkers. Last week, well, not last week, let me correct myself. 2 weeks ago, we had a murder of a young woman, 18 years old. Allegedly, she was killed by a 15-year-old boy. I'm saying allegedly because he did not have his day in court. We don't know. He has not been convicted, and I don't want to jump the boat saying that he did it, because I haven't seen anything, but it looks like he did. A couple months ago, we had another 16 that was killed right up the street at the door of the hospital. So it seems like as day goes, days and months, it's kids killing kids. You're a mother, correct?
Yes.
I'm a father. What do you think is the problem?
Oh, that's a tough one. I wrestle with that. Access to guns, number one. I am currently partnering with Moms Demand Action where we're trying to get stricter gun control. I know New York is tough in terms of its gun control laws. I'm told we have the best in the nation, but how, it's these firearms on the street. I also feel it's lack of morals, lack of compassion, for human beings. I don't understand it. And this young lady that was shot and killed, she was a Perl. She was part of our Perl program. She hadn't been active in the last, I think, 6 months. She was an honor student, very nice young lady, and it's very heartbreaking. What happened. I also understand that a 9-year-old showed up in school a couple of weeks ago with a gun. Where are these guns coming from? We got to get these firearms off the street. We have to do something.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Charlie, I have no answer. I can talk about the problems, but I don't have an exact answer. But I think most of those problems begin at home, at very early age in education of that child. It was about a year or so ago, maybe 2 years ago, that I went to a cover story, PS 13 on McLean Avenue. Police were called because a 9-year-old had the gun in his school bag in the school.
Wow.
How does a kid 9 years old get his hands on a gun? But the problem is not just guns. I think the problem is state of mind of those kids. If it's not a knife, it's a gun, it's a knife. It's not a knife, it's a baseball bat. If it's not a baseball bat, it's a gang of kids, jumping on. I think it's the state of mind. And it's difficult to change mindsets. So do we blame the kids or do we blame those that are in charge of educating our kids? Because very often we see those that are educating our kids are kids themselves. So how can
What
a
are
kid
you
teach
talking
another
about?
kid?
A teen mother or
A teen mother.
Okay.
A teen mother or a mother that is on her 29s and her son is already 15. How old was she when she was growing that
Right,
boy
absolutely.
or girl?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. We have to get back to basics. Back to basics. Educating families, teaching young girls how to parent. Have more conversations about teenage pregnancies and becoming a mom early on, and what a home look like and what a home should be like. A home doesn't have to be this big mansion or this huge apartment. The home is what goes on inside. Are you hugging your child? You loving your child? You teaching them discipline. Discipline is very important. I tell some of my parents, if you don't teach them discipline, within your home, somebody is going to teach them discipline. The police when they end up in jail or something like that. Think back to basics.
You're right. Being a mom, it's a beautiful thing. There's no doubt. Okay, giving life, having a child, but there is time for everything. And at 12, 13, 14, it's not the time to become a mother. It's the time to educate yourself. I'm not saying that all 13, 14 are bad mothers. That's not what I'm trying to imply.
No, I understand.
What I'm trying to say is, at that age, being a mom should not be your priority.
Absolutely.
That's all I'm saying. Your future, your success depends on your education. Do you agree on that?
I totally agree on that. And that's the mission of our Perl program, is to make sure our young women, we don't know what's going on at home, but we want to make sure we develop mentors for them, teach them, about themselves, about birth control, about, decision making, empower them to take control of their lives.
That's right. Now, I know that, I have another question from Omi Medina. Second question, Omi is on the go. I guess Omi is at home doing nothing.
Hi, Omi.
Omi asks, being that YWCA already has a drum program, you have a drum program here, right?
We don't have a drum program.
Don't you have an African drum program?
No, dance.
African dance.
Right.
He's asking, will John Rivera drum program consist of?
Will what?
What will John Rivera
Okay.
drum program consist of?
We've had conversations about a drum program with Mr. Rivera. We talked about, you know, kids coming in, learning how to play drums, performing, hoping that that will teach some type of discipline or tap into something they really like, some type of passion that they might have. That hasn't gotten off the ground though.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Now, do we have other programs at the YWCA that you want to mention? Because now this interview is to focus on you, because you are the leader of the YWCA. You are the CEO and executive director. You are doing a wonderful job. I have covered many events where you've been involved in, but at the same time, we want to let the community know what goes on here. Do you have anything that is coming up? I know there is something with the medicine management that Yonkers Voice is also sponsoring. Can you want to tell us about this?
Yeah, that's a great program because we have a resident and we also have a drop-in. We have people that are on massive medications. So we have medication management where Mr. Anabi, who's a pharmacist and he owns a pharmacy.
Multiple pharmacies, yes.
Okay, multiple pharmacists. He's volunteered to come in and do workshops for us, and we're very thankful and grateful for that. Teaching people how, what might interact with their medication, what over-the-counter or even foods that could interact with medication and how they should take it. Strongly suggesting that they do take their medication. A lot of people will come in on meds and then stop taking them. It's a great workshop.
I think so because, sometimes you go to the doctor, he gives you a whole bunch of medication to take and he tells you once a day. And what you do in the morning is you open your bottles, you put all the medication because it's once a day on your hands and you put them up.
Right.
And it's important to know that not all medications should be taken together.
Right.
There is a contraindication. So it's a very important program here at the YWCA. My understanding is that it goes every month, first Tuesday of the month at 11 a.m. So tomorrow we have a session here.
Yes.
So come on down, bring your friends, come and get some information about how prescriptions work, how you should take your medication, because proaction is much better than reaction.
Absolutely.
So anything else, Charlie, anything else that is going on?
We have lots of stuff going on. We have a senior program. We're going to do I'm Not a Racist, Am I? Again on the 17th.
17th of what?
Of May 17th.
Do you know what time?
At 7.
Yeah. So you heard it here, Am I a Racist? Program, May 17, 7 p.m., YWCA. Be part of it.
Thank you.
Now what about domestic violence, Charlie? Because I'm asking you this because this is a place for women. And I'm sure that you have some cases, some residents here, I think, I'm not sure, that are trying to escape, maybe left their spouse because they've been abused, not just physically, sometimes emotionally. Do you offer any kind of a workshop that addresses that? Because a lot of women, sometimes males as well, the reason because they take so much abuse is because of very low self-esteem.
Well, yes, absolutely. We've had some women that are victims of domestic violence, and we have referred for therapy, but my sister's place have come in and ran workshops as well regarding domestic violence. What we do here is if you come to our reception downstairs, we cannot confirm or deny. if someone is here. Most of our clients have cell phones, so if somebody is coming to visit, they should have telephone and made an appointment, and the resident should have made us aware that they are expecting a visitor. But we run all sorts of workshops though.
Good.
Yeah.
Juan Guisano. I'm not going to ask that question because we already did. Just watch the video from the beginning. What about Yonkers? Yonkers is one of the largest cities, if not the largest, in New York State. Are you happy with the way our city is today? Do you think Yonkers 10 years from now will be the same as Yonkers right now, or you see a bright future for our city?
Well, actually, I see a bright future for our city. I think Yonkers is a great place. I think they have great leaders in Yonkers. They've been very supportive of the YWCA. I think the changes that's happening on the waterfront are necessary for the betterment of Yonkers. Yonkers is on the move, like YWCA is on the move. Yonkers is on the move. I think the business that they're planning will increase the tax base, which absolutely need to happen in order for Yonkers to prepare, for the whole community, support the whole community. Having revenue is very important. I mean, we just saw, the mayor develop a budget, for Yonkers. We need money coming in. So yeah, I see a very bright future for Yonkers. I think that waterfront is going to be absolutely fantastic.
Great. Now, we have to end this interview sooner or later.
Okay.
So on this note, we're going to end it. But sometimes I ask questions, but I forget to ask a question or two. Maybe something that you want to bring up. Maybe something that is on your mind that you think the community should know. Did I ask everything, or do you have something that you want to bring it up?
I think you're very good, Rune. I think you asked everything. You covered us pretty well. We talked about all the things we do here, and we support basically the whole empowerment of people. So we don't just work with our residents or the programs we have here. If somebody's going through something, come in. See if we can help. If we can't help, we can find help.
That's it. You might not have the answers, but you will know where to go to get the answers.
Right, absolutely.
So, well, kudos to you, Ms. Charlie.
Thank you.
Job well done. You've been on the YWCA for how long?
I've been at the Y for 6 years. I've been the CEO, Executive Director for a year and a half.
So guys, here you are. Charlie Knights, the CEO and Executive Director of the YWCA, located at 87 North Broadway.
South.
No, this is South. I'm sorry, guys. Sometimes I mix up my South and North, my left and right. But this is South Broadway, right across from the City Hall and Police Headquarters. So if you have any questions, if you have any issues, if you know somebody who needs help, this is the place to come. Okay, this is the place to come. So thank you very much for making yourself available, for taking the time off your busy schedule to talk to us. But we pursue this interview because we feel that people like Charlie Knight and other community leaders needs to be exposed to the community. We need to focus on the positive and good work that our community has. Beautiful things also happen in Yonkers.
Yes, absolutely.
So, on that note, guys, stay tuned for our next episode of Yonkers Voice. We are in the places where we think it matters. Stay tuned for more.